here, and today we're going to be doing yoga at home number 3. If you're somebody who hasn't done yoga at home number 1 or yoga at home number 2, I encourage you to check those out because the sequence we're going to do today will be building on some of the poses that we learned in the previous videos. Some of the poses might be familiar to you from those videos, and if they are, that's great. Then you can just work on perfecting your technique. But again, I want to remind you that when you're doing yoga, our balance changes from day to day. So if you were having success with a pose in yoga at home number 1 or yoga at home number 2, might be a little bit different for you with yoga at home number 3. Also, maybe you struggled with a pose in yoga at home number 1 or yoga at home number 2, and you might find that it's really easy to do today. So go easy on yourself. Have fun, and remember that when you are doing yoga, if something doesn't feel right in your body, gives you pain or discomfort, come out of that pose and take a break in either Savasana or Child's Pose, and I'll go over those just to review. Also make sure before you get started that you do have comfortable clothes on that are easy to move in. Feel free to take off your socks. Definitely don't wear shoes for doing yoga. In your space, make sure that you've pushed away all furniture, cleared out any objects that could be trip hazards. And again, if you're a student doing this, make sure that you've got a trusted adult supervising you, and maybe try to encourage them to get involved as well. Okay, have water handy because you may need a water break. And I've got my notes handy just in case I happen to forget any of the poses that I've planned for us today. So enjoy, relax, and remember you're taking time for yourself. Okay, so yoga is a wonderful thing to do if you are feeling stressed out or if you just need to take a break from things. So maybe the literacy calendar or the numeracy calendar are getting you down. Try some yoga, it'll probably help you. So we're going to begin in Savasana, or resting pose. Okay, I'm not going to stay here too long just because we've seen this pose before. Okay, so you can stay here for as long a time as you want. Okay, you could do your entire practice in Savasana if that's what you feel comfortable with. But you want to be taking a few deep breaths, okay, in and out. Feel free to close your eyes. Okay, palms face up at the ceiling, feet splayed apart as mine are here. Okay, I'm going to come out of my Savasana and I'm going to come into what we call a tabletop. So we've seen tabletop before. Tabletop looks like this. And from tabletop, we're just going to do a few cat and cows. So cat and cows, okay, we're going to arch our back for our cow. And then we're going to raise our back up like this for an angry Halloween cat. Okay, so do a couple of those. And again, you're welcome to do this for longer than I'm showing in the video. Okay, you listen to your body and you do what works for you. Okay, so from there, coming into our downward facing dog. And in downward facing dog, you can pedal out your legs like so. You can come high onto your toes. Okay, lower your heels down towards your mat. And if they don't quite touch your mat or if they don't quite touch your carpet, because you don't need to have a mat, that's okay. Okay, repeat that again, just to make sure that you're all stretched out. Okay, from there, you can walk your hands to your feet, coming into a forward fold. Okay, so in forward fold, we're going to reach for opposite elbows, letting our head, neck, and shoulders hang. Okay, from there, halfway lift. So a halfway lift, bringing the palms of our hands to our shins. Okay, and then we want to sort of flatten our back as we're doing that. You can see that my back is flat. Okay, lowering down again. And this time we're going to inhale our arms up. Okay, and we're going to come into our crescent moon. So from crescent moon, we're going to move to the right. Breathing in and out. And you'll feel a nice stretch across your ribs for this one. Okay, it also opens up your back. Come back to center, bend your knees, and you can switch up your grip. Okay, coming into crescent moon on the left. Okay, and coming back and lowering our hands down to heart center. So from crescent moon, we're going to work on a new pose, and the new pose is thunderbolt, or sometimes you hear this called chair pose. So what I'd like you to do is to bring your feet hip width apart, okay? And again, you're gonna pretend like you're sitting down into a chair, okay? Imaginary chair that's not there. You're gonna bring your arms out, and then you're gonna scoot your bum back. You're gonna make sure that your shoulders aren't scrunched to your ears, and you're gonna kind of lower your shoulders down. You can raise your toes up. Maybe you can get a view of my toes, and put all your weight into the middle and back part of your foot. Okay, you may feel your legs kind of quiver a bit, and that's okay. They're just building strength. Now you don't need to go down as deep as I am, so perhaps you want to take a breath and then come up out of the pose a little bit, if that's more comfortable for you. Okay, or if you want, for a challenge, lower down as I've been doing. Okay. From there, we're gonna come into what's called awkward pose. So slowly rise. Now we're gonna put all the weight into our toes, and we're gonna come high onto our toes. An awkward pose builds strength in the arches of our feet, the calves, which are the back parts of our lower legs. We want our arms out. We're gonna tuck in our tummy, and you can focus your eyes on a spot that's not moving. Inhale your arms up, lower them down, awkward pose. Okay, from awkward pose, we're going to come into eagle's pose. So again, for eagle's pose, you want to position yourself in the middle of your mat. You're going to inhale your arms up, right arm under left, and twist if that feels good on your shoulders. Okay, if that feels funny, you can go right arm under left arm and cross your arms as I'm doing here. I prefer the twist, but again, listen to your own body, do what's comfortable. Okay, toes together, ankles together, knees together, and again, we're gonna make like we're sitting in a chair. So bend our knees, and we're gonna bring our right leg up and over our left. Okay, eagle's pose, squeezing as hard as we can with our arms, squeezing our legs. This pose is great for bringing oxygen to our internal organs. Try to sit a little deeper. Okay, if you come out of the pose, try it again. Inhale the right leg up, plant it to the floor, release everything. This time, left arm under right in a twist like so, or left arm under right like this, okay? So again, you want to lower those shoulders so they're not scrunched up to your ears like this, okay? So I'm going to do the twist. I prefer the twist. Toes together, ankles together, knees together. Pretend you're sitting in a chair. Left leg over right. You can work on sitting a little lower. Make sure that your elbows are in line with your face. And focusing your eyes on a spot that's not moving. Inhaling that left leg up. Bring your arms up, returning your arms down to heart center. and standing in mountain pose. From here, we're going to come into warrior one. We've done warrior one before, so let's put our right foot forward. We want to point that right foot at about 2 o'clock. Left foot is behind us. Left foot is focused at about 10 o'clock if you were to think of an analog clock. So think about that clock face. Inhale your arms up. You want to scooch that right foot forward a little bit, bending the right leg, keeping the back leg straight. You can arch your back a little bit for a back bend, opening up your chest. This pose is wonderful for building strength in our back, our chest, and our legs. Okay, from here, we're going to come into warrior two. So you want to line up your left foot with the back of your mat or a spot on the floor. Okay, so you could see that if you didn't have a mat, my foot would be parallel to my carpet that I have rolled up. So choose a spot that you can make your foot parallel to. Okay, the front foot, position it so the toes are pointed forward, and you want what's called heel to arch alignment. So you see that the heel of my right foot, if I was to draw a line, comes all the way back to the arch of my left foot. Okay, from there, I'm going to bring my arms out at either side, lower my shoulders, and then I'm going to bend my front knee, keeping my back leg straight. This is our warrior two. And we've learned triangle pose, so if you'd like to come into triangle pose, you could do that. So lowering that right hand to our right knee, left arm up. We're creating a long line from the tops of the left fingers all the way down. New pose for us. Coming back to warrior two, dancing warrior. So I'm going to bring my left arm behind my back, bringing my right arm up and over, maintaining my lunge. This is called dancing warrior. Okay, come back to warrior two, take another lunge. Hands to your hips, heel toe, your feet together. And as I always say, what you do on one side, you must do to the other. So now we're going to do our warrior one on the other side. So this time left foot forward, okay, pointing in that 10 o'clock position if you're thinking about an analog clock. Okay, right foot is in a 2 o'clock position. Gonna bend my left knee, keeping my right leg straight. Inhale my arms up, and I'm fixing my gaze on the ceiling. You can see that my fingers are separated. My hands are kind of turned in. This works the muscles in your forearms and your wrists, so you might feel those muscles working. Okay, there's our warrior one. Okay, now that heel and arch alignment on the opposite side. Okay, so this time my left leg is out front. My right foot is parallel to that carpet or the back of my mat, and I'm in my warrior two. Okay, I'm working really hard to make sure that this knee stays back. The tendency is for our knee to kind of come in like this. We don't want that. We want to build strength through our inner thigh by keeping that knee back. Okay, there's our warrior two. Okay, and again, triangle pose. Okay, so you're going to point your palms towards the right hand side of your room, lowering that left hand to our left knee, right arm up this time, and you can fix your gaze on those right fingers. Okay, coming back up to warrior two. Let's do dancing warrior. So this time right arm comes around my back like so. And you can see my right fingers here just at my waist. I'm gonna bring that left arm back. This is great for a stretch in our sides. Dancing warrior. Okay, coming back to warrior two, taking another lunge for added depth, really working on building that leg strength. Okay, hands to our hips, heel toe, our feet together. Now working on our dancer's pose. Okay, we've done dancer's pose before, and we've practiced it a lot in Phys-Ed in the gym, so this might be one that you're good at. Okay, so to get into dancer's pose, we're going to inhale our arms up. Okay, making sure we've got now all our weight into our left foot. Okay, bringing our right arm down like this and holding our hand like we're a waiter or waitress in a restaurant serving something on a tray. I'm gonna pick up that right foot. Okay, notice how I'm picking it up from the inside of the foot, so by my big toe. Okay, bring that leg back. And you can stay like this. This is a dancer's pose. Or if you want, as we've practiced in the gym, tipping into your dancer's pose. And it helps too to smile. Kind of lightens the mood a little bit. And if you fall out of the pose, just try again. So focus your eyes on something that's not moving. Coming back out. Dancer's pose. Okay, windmill those arms up, right arm up this time. Left arm now like you're serving something on a tray in a restaurant. Picking up that left foot. All the weight into the right foot. Okay, now again, focusing your eyes on something that's not moving. And really going into your depth if you want. And smiling, just to lighten the mood. Helps to smile, sometimes for no reason at all. Okay, coming back up to stand, lowering your arms, dancer's pose. Let's inhale our arms up, bring our hands down to heart center, take a halfway lift. Okay, we've talked about child's pose, and if you're feeling stressed out, I've said you can come into child's pose anytime you like, so you can come into a wide-legged version like so. Okay, and you could just stay there. Now they say too, if you have trouble sleeping in the night, if you come into a child's pose, if you've had a bad dream, maybe you've got a lot of thoughts racing through your mind, take child's pose, and some say that it does help them to fall asleep. Okay, another version of child's pose is this version with our legs together like so. Okay, so child's pose. So you may want to stay there, or you can join me for the second part of our practice. If you're joining me for the second part of the practice, we're going to come into a pose called wind relieving. So we're going to do this pose from our back. Now again, if you'd like to stay in Savasana, that is okay too. So for the wind relieving pose, okay, we're going to bring our right knee into our chest, pointing our right toes. Now we're going to plant the heel of our left foot firmly on our mat or on our carpet, and then we're going to point those left toes towards the ceiling, and this is wind relieving pose. This is good for our intestines, and sometimes if you have, say, gas pains or abdominal discomfort, this kind of helps if you do that. Okay, if you'd like an added challenge to build strength in your core, try lifting up that left leg, and that will rely on the strength of those abdominal muscles to help you out. Okay, from there, we're going to switch things up, coming into it on the opposite side. So, left knee into my chest, planting the heel of my right foot firmly on my carpet or on my mat, toes pointed towards the ceiling. Okay, and again, if I want that challenge, elevate the right leg. Okay, double wind relieving, bring both knees in. Now, a couple of options for this. You're welcome to stay just as you are like this. You can rock slowly from side to side, like so. Okay, you can widen out the space between your knees, staying still or rocking side to side, or you can hold your knees from the top and then stir your legs like so, going one way and then going the opposite way. So for double wind relieving, there's a couple different options that you can try that may work for you. Okay, so for our wind relieving pose, we're going to come into our cobra's pose. Now, if you don't mind, my dishwasher is running, so you might hear kind of a noise in the background. So we all know cobra's pose. So cobra's pose, okay, we're gonna lower down to our tummy. We're gonna plant the shoelace part of our feet firmly on the floor. Okay, we're gonna lower our head to the mat or to the carpet. Okay, we're gonna keep our hands sort of at shoulder, armpit level, elbows sticking up like a grasshopper. And then here we're gonna work to elevate our upper body, neck and head, and lifting our hands off the floor, cobra's pose. This pose builds strength in your back, so you wanna keep your gaze forward, looking down at your floor or your carpet, just a few centimeters ahead of where your head is. Okay, and when that becomes enough, you can lower down, planting your hands to the floor. Coming into now, something that's a little bit of a challenge for us. So, once we learn this, we can do so much more in our practice. So I'm gonna teach you what is called the flow, okay? So for the flow position, you want to bring yourself into downward dog. Now, a couple of different options for the flow. From downward facing dog, you can come forward into a high plank, and we all know high plank. From there, you're gonna lower down to your tummy, feet together, coming back into cobra's pose, lowering our hands to the floor, coming onto our knees into a tabletop, and then from there, pressing up into downward dog. Okay, that's like a step one. Step two would be coming forward. Now from here, lowering down just to about elbow height, all our weight into our feet, pulling our chest forward into an upward dog. So you see how my shoulders are rolled back, my tummy and my upper thighs are off the mat, my toes and the shoelace part of my feet are planted firmly on my mat or the carpet. Then I'm gonna roll onto my toes, coming into downward dog. Let's try that again. Coming forward, lowering down to elbow height, rolling onto my toes, chest and shoulders lift, roll back my shoulders, I can look up, stay here in upward dog for a few seconds, coming high onto my toes, coming back to downward dog. So you can practice a few of those flows. Okay, I'll show you quicker. And that's our downward dog flow. Okay, so once you've mastered that, we can do some great transitions in our classes. Okay, coming into a seated twist. So to do our spinal twist, we are going to bring both legs out in front of us. Okay, so keep the left leg flat on your mat or on your carpet, and you can point your toes towards the ceiling, bring the right leg in, okay, and then from there, we're gonna bring our right arm behind us like a kickstand. We're gonna elevate our left arm, bringing our left elbow to our right knee, and then twisting. So you'll feel this through your sides and lower back. It's a great pose for lower back pain. And then from there, you can counter your twist, like so. Okay, switching now. Right leg out in front of us, toes pointed towards the ceiling. Bringing our left leg up. Okay, knee nice and close to our chest. Now from there, left arm back like a kickstand. Right arm comes up, right elbow comes to left knee, and then we twist. And again, feeling that in our back and our sides. And you may even hear your back crack. And if it does, that is totally okay. And countering your twist on the opposite side. Okay, and then from there, coming into our next pose, which is going to be our seated cobbler's pose. So, cobbler's pose looks like so. We've done the reclined version. Let's do the seated version. Okay, so feet together like so. Knees spread wide. If you're having difficulty spreading your legs out wide like this, okay, you can keep them elevated like this, and you could use your arms to help lower those legs down. Okay, coming into our seated cobbler's pose. And if you like, you can just relax, make it passive, fold forward, really stretching out our back, our head, our neck, our shoulders, feeling our legs and our hips getting a nice stretch. Okay, and then from there, you can return to seated, and you can close your practice in Savasana. Okay, so spreading those legs out wide on your mat, lying back, taking a few deep breaths. In and out. And again, you're welcome to remain in Savasana for as long as you like. So I hope you've enjoyed Yoga at Home number 3. I hope you've learned a lot. Namaste.